Hey everyone, back again this week to do some more prep cooking. I know you guys know I make different things every week. We try not to do the same thing over and over. And so this week I've already done a little bit of prep cooking. I've got 2 packages of bacon done. I hadn't done any bacon for a while, so my husband kind of put his foot down and said, it's time for bacon, because he's the only one that eats it in the house. So I kind of forget to do that sometimes. So I've made his bacon, and I've also made a package of cheese crisps. Now I have videos for both of these things and how I make them in the oven, so I'm going to go ahead and link down below so that you can get those videos as well if you haven't seen them yet. But I'm going to prep some different things today than I normally do, but it's for a good reason. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to prep today is Parmesan cheese. And this is the package that I get from Aldi. This costs about $3.89, I think, for an 8-ounce package. And because it comes in a hard wedge like this, it has to be dealt with. You have to either shred it or make it, powdery. And I buy the triangle wedge for a good reason. Most of the cheeses are going to have cellulose or other things in them to keep it from sticking together. And those things will add carbs to your cheese. So I always fresh grind everything, and I usually try to prep a little bit of this and put it in the freezer because it just makes it easier than having to pull the big container out to make it every night. Okay, so, and it saves on my arms. You know, I could grate it if I wanted to on a regular grater, and I'm getting those muscles from it. But anyway, so let me show you what I do. Okay, so here is my wedge. Let me move that. And here is my food processor. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this up a little bit. And the reason why is because it just helps it to chop up better when we put it into the food processor. At least that's what I find for me. And I try to do the whole wedge at once as far as cutting it up, but we don't grind it up all at once. And that's to keep it more consistent and to make sure that everything, there's no extra big chunks and stuff like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some in here, and I've already got some in there because I had about half of another wedge, and I really wanted to get that taken care of today too. So I'm actually going to have a lot of Parmesan, which is good. I like it to sprinkle on salads and to sprinkle on dishes for an extra tangy flavor. You could also put it in your spaghetti sauce and other things. So I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know why I just did that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the lid on my food processor. And I do apologize, guys. This is going to be loud. My food processor is cheap and it's really loud. I think it's on its last leg actually. But let me go ahead and do that Okay. It's still a little more, some of the pieces are still a little big, so I'm going to go ahead and do it just a little while longer. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. As you can see, it's got a really nice consistency to it. Some pieces are a little bigger than others, but still in the end, it's a really nice fine consistency. So I'm gonna go ahead and I started with the Parmesan because Parmesan is a hard cheese, and so I would rather do a hard cheese first, then move on to the soft cheeses, which I will do in just a minute. So let me go ahead and do this last batch. And again, some of these are still a little bit too big, so I'm going to do it just a few more seconds. All right, so I have 1.5 wedges of Parmesan cheese done. Let me go ahead and put that in there. There we go. And as you can tell, it's nice and clean, and it's ready for the other cheeses. Here is the container. This is a reusable container that I got some lunch meat for my daughter in. And so I keep them. If I'm gonna pay that much for lunch meat, I'm gonna get it in a container that I can reuse. So let me put this to the side, and we'll move on. The next cheese I'm going to do, I'm going to actually use this one, and I'm going to do cheddar. I like shredded cheddar in a lot of things, and if I have it pre-shredded, it just makes it easier to put it in salads and eggs and as a topping to make things look pretty. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got 2 packages of cheddar. I got these at Aldi today. They were $1.79 a package, and each package has 8 ounces in it. Yep, 8 ounces. So I'm going to be doing up a pound of cheese right now. And as you can see, I'm just rough cutting it into 3 different pieces because we want it to be able to fit down the tube of the food processor. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to go ahead and get this taken care of. So again, I'm going to be really noisy, but bear with me. Our cheddar cheese is done, and it didn't take very long at all. So I've got a lot of really good cheddar cheese for the week, and again, I will take some of this and I will put it into a container and freeze some of it because I don't need this much cheese this week. There's just no way we could eat all that. 16 ounces, that's like 16 servings. So we don't do that. We don't need all that for the week. Now, the next thing that I'm going to make is going to be mozzarella. I get this mozzarella at Walmart. It is about $3.50, $4 for this, but if you can see, it is whole milk mozzarella. So what that means is that this is going to be softer. And so this is why this is the last cheese for me to do, because it's so soft that it's going to be more difficult to do. I tried a trick that someone said, which was to go ahead and put it in the freezer for a little bit. I put it into my deep freezer for 30 minutes or more, and it's still extremely, extremely soft. So Again, I'm just gonna cut this so that it fits through the tube. Hopefully, it's kind of thick. And let's see what we got. Yep, too thick. So that's okay. I will go ahead and cut it in half widthwise. Oh, this is so soft. It's good, it's just soft. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on low so that, because as it goes down, it'll like get stuck in the lid. So we're gonna do it on low. Oh my gosh, that is hysterical. But as you can tell, high is a better setting for the softer cheese. And this is why I do this one last, because as you can tell, it has just gotten all over everything because it's so high in fat. So I'm going to go ahead, oops, I have a bowl for that one. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a bowl, and we're gonna put all of this to the side. One of the reasons I wanted to do this week was because I want to do a pizza, and I want to do a couple other things. I want to try a couple other things with this. So there we go, we've got that ready. So we're done with our cheese things for now. Bear with me for just a minute while I get the next thing ready. All right, the next thing I'm prepping today is going to be a breakfast pizza kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just making this recipe up as I go along today, so bear with me. If it doesn't turn out good, I'll let you know in the comments. But all I'm gonna do is I've got this package of turkey, Genio turkey sausage, and then I have this package of Great Value mild premium sausage. And the reason I have two of them is because I can't have pork. So one of these is going to be for me, this one is going to be for me, and the other one is going to be for my husband and my daughter. And you guys know me, and I'm probably going to drive a lot of you crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and all I'm going to do is push this out to make a crust on the bottom of the pan. I suppose I could use a spoon or something like that, but that just seems like a lot of work to me. This is going to be really quick. I'll wash my hands in between, and then I'll make the other one. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put these in the oven for just a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, and get them a little bit more crusty, and then we'll add the next step to this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go along. I think I'm going to do one that way and one a different way. So I'm going to make mine, and we'll see which one works better. I'm going to make mine where it's not cooked first, and I'll make my husband's where it is cooked first. As you can tell, I am washing my hands, and I will all right, so my hands are washed for that one, and let me get this one going. And the reason I did mine first is because I knew I was going to use the same knife, and I didn't want to do any cross-contamination of stuff that I can't have, so therefore I did mine first. And we're just going to go ahead and push this down in here as well. His is going to be a little bit thicker because his is round. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the oven so that it gets a little cooked. And then we'll do some other stuff to it. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back and I'm washing my hands again. Just so you know, I have that in a 425 degree oven, and I'm gonna let it go for about 10 minutes. And then we'll pull it out and we'll do some more stuff to it. So we've got that done. So the next thing I'm gonna do to my breakfast casserole is eggs. Now the Jenny O, this is like $3 for a package. This package has 5 servings in it. And it goes by cooked weight, which I've never really seen that before, which kind of surprises me. But of course, so there's 5 servings in here. Each serving is 58 grams of cooked meat. So, you know, theoretically I could get 5 servings instead of 6 out of this, but I'm doing 6 eggs, so I'm going to do 6 servings. Just makes it a little bit easier on the math. And then I'm also going to use some milk. So I've got 6 eggs in my bowl, and I have some heavy cream. This is the heavy cream that I use that's powdered, and I make it myself. I reconstitute it myself. And I'm going to use, this is a half cup, but I'm only going to use a 1/4 cup of that. And then I'm going to whisk everything together. And then I'm going to add some cheese. And this is part of the reason why I did the cheese first. I'm going to put in a good 1.5 cups of cheese and just mix it together. You could put any of your favorite vegetables in here if you like mushrooms, if you like peppers and stuff like that. For me though, I try to keep it as simple as possible, and so that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and pour it over the top. Now, probably want to add some salt to this in a little bit, but for now, this is all I'm going to do. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven, and we'll see what they look like when they're all done. All right, we're back, and this time I'm going to make meatballs. I say that hesitantly because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with this meat. I know what I want, I just don't know what I want. So what I've got here is I've got some Simple Truth natural turkey. It's just ground turkey. I got it on sale. It was $2.59 a pound. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Now, because turkey is not really a high-fat meat, I'm going to go ahead and mix it with ground beef, 73% lean, so that's 27% fat. And I got this for $2.79 for a pound. So overall, this is about $5. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix these together. I'm going to add some spices, and then we'll just make this into balls. And I'm going to probably put some spaghetti sauce and mozzarella over the top. I think that's what sounds best to me right now. So let me go ahead and get this working. Again, here I am with my hands. I'm so excited this week. My daughter is starting her first year at college. She's going to East Tennessee State University, and she is going to be studying digital media, video game design. She's also in the marching bucks, and she plays cymbals, and so I'm really excited. We've been seeing some videos all week of marching band camp that they've been having, and she is so exhausted but having such a great time out there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do after I wash my hands is add some seasonings to this. Now, I know that when people make meatballs and meatloaf and stuff like that, they add eggs and breadcrumbs and all sorts of things. And you know, I could add an egg to this if I wanted to, but because the turkey is a looser meat, I tend not to do that because then they won't. I mean, half the time you add the egg because the meat is so thick and you need it to be able to move. But as you can tell, this is really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt, maybe a little bit more. There we go, teaspoon of salt. And then I'm gonna take some sage. This is gonna be, sage is a really good ingredient for many different things. This is just one of the ways that I use it. And what I'm gonna do is, this is fresh from my mother. She gives me this every year. And we're just gonna rub it in. And there we go, now my hands smell great. And then the last thing I'm gonna add is one of my favorite spices, fennel. I don't add a lot of it, but I do add a little bit. And so we've got salt, fennel, and sage, and that's it. And we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix that up. I have another video. It's very similar to this, and so if you want better portions and stuff like that, I've got a better video for how I make meatballs. But I wanted to prep these, and we'll probably have these Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday is band practice here, and so all I'm gonna do is make these into really nice sized meatballs, and that's it. We're gonna put these in here. I have a feeling these are a little too big, but it doesn't matter how big they are really, because you're gonna cook it and it doesn't matter. Just make sure that they're all about the same size. You can make them big, you can make them small, you can make it into a meatloaf, you can make it into, you know, individual portions in muffin tins. I mean, there's so many different things that you could do with this recipe. And this will make a good quick lunch. Once it's cooked, you know, leftovers will make a really nice lunch for people. And yeah, so I like to use the combination of meats because then I don't have to put the egg in, but also because it gives it a different texture. I think most Italian recipes for meatballs call for a combination of veal and pork, or beef and pork, and so this is kind of my take on it since I can't have pork. And we are almost done here, and when I get done with these last two, what I'm gonna do is go get my spaghetti sauce that I made this week. Alright, so I'm back, and this is my spaghetti sauce that I made earlier this week. I meant to put out a video that I had made for it sooner than this, but I will go ahead and release that video on Wednesday because I don't like to release too soon in advance or too close together. And all I'm gonna do is just put a little drop of it on everything. Mostly it's just to add a little extra flavor. It is not to overwhelm it. It is just to, you know, add a little bit of prettiness to it, but also to add a little flavor to it. So There you go. I know I don't use a lot, but tomatoes are really high in carb, and so that's one thing that we want to definitely not use a lot of. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually use this kind of mozzarella and just put it over the top. I hate these packages, especially when your hands are wet. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the mozzarella. I get this mozzarella at Aldi, and it's really nice too. This is, you know, just like the cheddar and Colby that I get from there as well, or the Munster. And you could use any cheese. You could use provolone, you could use provolone, you could use mozzarella, you could use cheddar, you could use Parmesan. I mean, however you want to do this, this is just how I'm doing it today. And one last little bit. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and put this on, I'm going to put tin foil over this. I'm going to put this in my refrigerator, and then later in the week I'll pull it out and it'll be ready just for the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with the breakfast pizza, and I wanted to show you it has a lot of fat in it, and which is a good thing, but for what I want to accomplish, this isn't exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and drain some of this off. Now, this is not fully cooked, and I did that on purpose because I know I'm going to put more on it and put it back in the oven. So, just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, so now that is done. It's a little more drained. As you can tell, it's still got a little bit in it, but not tons like it did. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do just like we did with the other breakfast casserole. I have 6 eggs, and I'm going to go ahead and whisk them up in here with a little bit of cream. I have a lot of eggs, guys. I have got to start using them more. Earlier today, I took a dozen and I boiled them. And if you want me to make a video on how to boil eggs, because I know it's a basic, but a lot of people really don't know how to do it. So if you think that it would be helpful to you for me to show you how I hard boil eggs, go ahead and like this video, comment down below, don't forget to subscribe, and I will make a video for you on how to hard boil eggs, or how to boil eggs. Not just hard boil them, but I'll do all sorts of styles, like soft boiled, and I don't know about poached. I've never done poached. Okay, so that's another 1/4 cup of cream that I'm adding in here. And this time, because I have salt over here, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt to it. And again, at this point, you could add mushrooms, you could add peppers, whatever you want. Now, at this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add this in. And you're like, wait, where's the cheese? Because, you know, you got to have cheese. And I will show you. I am going to take this mozzarella that I used earlier, and I'm going to put it on top. That was my intention all along, to make it more like a breakfast pizza than a breakfast quiche. I do have a recipe, a video on how to make quiche, or crustless quiche, or frittata, or whatever you want to call it. And I can link down below to that as well. And it's a simple recipe, pretty much what I just did, just in a little bit different form. Okay, so there we go. We've got the mozzarella on. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the oven until it's cooked. My other one is about halfway cooked. It's still really jiggly in the center, so I'm not gonna pull that out yet, but I'll be right back. All right, so that is about all I'm gonna show you right now. And the reason why is because the rest that I have to prep is gonna be my salad stuff for the day, or for the week, as well as celery. And the only addition I'm gonna make this week is I'm gonna add a little bit of spinach to it. And that's it. That's most of what I'm going to prep today. I have one other thing that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna make a separate video for that because it's a new recipe, so if it doesn't work out, then I don't have to put it out there. We bought beef shank this week. It was marked down, and it looked like a good steak to me because it was really marbled and stuff, and I thought, ooh, that big bone in the center, that would be great for bone broth, and we bought it. And then we read about how it's a tougher cut of meat and how you have to do it differently, and so I'm gonna try that today. And I was like, I've heard the recipe before, ossobuco, and I didn't know what it was. And so when I was looking up beef shank recipes, I came up with an ossobuco recipe. And I was like, oh, that is awesome. I've always wanted to try. I like trying new recipes or unusual recipes, so I think this one is gonna be really fun. I'm gonna put my own spin on the recipe that I found just because of my allergies and stuff. But like I said, I'm gonna make a separate video on that. I don't know if you can see in the background, I've got my big blue glass. This is full of water because when you're prepping, you better be drinking your water. You will get so dehydrated because it's hot in the kitchen, but there you go. Next to that is a pan of sad chips. I let my cheese crisps cook way too long, and they are more brown and yucky, and they get a weird wang to them, so I'm just gonna throw those out. And then we've got the bacon and the skillet I'm gonna use for the ossobuco. So like I said, I'm not gonna go through how I cut lettuce because you've already seen me do that. And really everything that I have done already is what I'm gonna prep for the week. And so let me know what you think. Did you like them? Did you like my recipes? Did you think they were crazy? I promise that I will post pictures of the breakfast casseroles on my Instagram and also in my Facebook group. And so if you want to know how they turned out, if they were a hit or not, or if they worked the way I wanted them to, go ahead and check out my Instagram, check out my Facebook group, and you should see those pictures in there. And that's it. I'm done prepping for the week, and I really enjoy spending this time with you guys. If you have any ideas of different things that I could prep that you have wondered about and you don't know how to prep, or you have ideas for me to use with the ingredients that I can have, that might change up our menu a little bit, go ahead and comment down below. I like hearing from you guys. I know I've said that a lot. Comment down below. But seriously, I really want the feedback from you guys. So have a good weekend. Have a good week. Hope you prepped well, and let's keto on.